Hi, this is Mrs. Wyrick with Seminole County Virtual School. I just wanted to take a quick minute to review the 4.03 Population Dynamics lab activity that is found within our biology course. So first, you'll notice that this is actually an embedded web lab within the lesson. However, I do have our assignment lab report template set up in a separate Google Doc. So just know that you can download the Google Doc that I have linked on our home slide so that you can actually edit it in Google. So you would click File, make a copy. Don't forget to include a title and then the lab objectives. We're going to do the hypothesis in just a moment. So for this lab report, it kind of talks us through those objectives. The purpose of this lab is to analyze graphs to determine the population size of two marine species, explain how predation, birth, and death rates impact marine populations, and to describe how biotic and abiotic factors influence marine populations. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm just going to click the little purple button to go to the next slide. This is just reviewing some important information about populations. So in our lab report, we're going to see the prey initial size. That's the starting population size of the number of prey. And in this case, we're looking at seals versus whales. So we're going to assume that we have an unlimited food supply for our seals. So the only thing that's going to impact their population size is going to be the predators. So we also have a prey growth rate. That's going to determine how many new seals we have joining our population. So the higher the growth rate, the faster the population grows. For our predators, our whales here, we have their predator initial size, which is the starting number of predators, the predator death rate, which is similar to the growth rate for the prey. The predator death rate determines how quickly the predators die off, as well as the capture efficiency, which is the ability for the predator to capture the prey. So how good are they at hunting? So let's continue in the lab. And here's where we get to our hypothesis screen. So in our lab report, we have a section for hypothesis right here. What we're going to do is we're going to choose for each of these four predictions. We are going to decide if it's going to be higher or lower. You can choose. There is not a correct or an incorrect answer at this point. These are your predictions. So if the starting out population of the prey is higher than the predators, the resulting population of seals, remember those are your prey, will be higher or lower than the population of whales. You decide, pick one. And you're going to do making predictions for each of these four different hypotheses. Once you have made your predictions, you can actually highlight this text right here and use Control-C to copy or Command-C, or you can just click copy. And then you can actually insert that right into your document. So I'm just going to paste it right there. Obviously, yours are not going to say higher or lower. It's going to be the answer option that you chose. But that way you can put your predictions right in there. Now let's go on to the actual lab itself. So this is trial 1. This is your very first data table, or this very first graph you're going to look at. And so what this is looking at is what is the highest population achieved by whales and seals in the graph. Notice the initial population for both is 25. Okay, so we're starting off 25 is our initial population for both. And you see the green line here is our whale population. And the red line here is our seal population. So we would like to know what is the highest population achieved by whales and seals in the graph. So here I see whales as green. I'm going to go over here on my graph. And this is the point that is going to be the highest whale population. So I'm going to look over here, make my best guess about what that number is. Then I'm going to go over here, scroll down to my data table. Don't forget to include variables. I forgot to talk about that. But what are we changing? Probably something to do with either population or something population size, initial population size, and then what's going to be our dependent variable, what's going to change because of it. Just put in something that makes sense for at least one of your hypotheses. Sorry, back down to the data table. So we said the highest whale population, we looked at it, and it was this number right in here. and I'm just going to record that. So it looks like it might be 53. That's what I pick. And then I'm going to go back and look for seals, which is my red line. Well, that's going to be right in here. I'm going to say, for me, I might choose 48. Okay. You can pick whatever numbers if you don't think that that's reasonable. If your values are different, you're going to pick your best guess. So then I'm going to go on and look here. Now I have to make a change. It says increase the value of the prey population so it is above your predator population. Remember, they both started out at 25, so you can manipulate this however you want to. You could pick 50, you could pick 75, you can pick 100. You choose. Whatever you choose, you are going to record in your data table. What number did you pick here? And then you're going to record the highs and the lows. So everyone's going to have their own unique data here. So what is now the value of the whales? What is the value of the seals? Okay, so that's trial number 2. Then you're going to go on to trial 3. And here it tells us to increase the value of the predator population so that it's above the prey population. So we need to make our green line higher. 50 will do it, 75 will do it, 100 will do it. Choose one of those, record it here in your starting whale population section, and then record your data for the highest value for your whale and your seal population. Okay, so that's trial 3. Now we're going to go on to the next set, trial 1 of the next data table. And here we're going to change the birth rate. So right now we are looking at our birth rate is 0.05 and the birth rate for the whales is 0.005. This value does not change for this test. So we're just going to record the highest population achieved by whales and seals. Just kind of like our baselines. This is our greatest population. So you're going to go ahead and record that data in your data table. And then we're going to look at another one. We have an opportunity to make some changes. So here the instructions tell us to raise the prey birth rate. So something greater than 0.05. I could do 0.07, 0.08, 0.09. No matter what you choose, it's fine. You are going to record that new birth rate here and then fill in the corresponding boxes for how that impacts the population. And we're on our last set of data, our last data table. So here we are once again looking at the highest population achieved by whales and seals. This is their whale death rate and capture efficiency is 0.005. So we're going to record our highest data. So this is in table 3. We're just going to record the data here, and then we're going to make a change to the whale death rate. So that's on this one. I just have to make it higher than it is. So it could be 0.07, 0.05, 0.08, or 0.09. Whichever one you choose, you are going to record here. And then update your data table with the highest seal and whale populations. That is the end of this lab. You do have some analysis questions to answer. So if we were to take a quick look, the conclusion section is when you're going to talk about whether or not your 4 different hypotheses were supported, and then you're going to use the data tables to answer some specific questions about how birth and death rate and population sizes affected others. And then for your conclusion questions, there are a handful of those. Specifically, those tend to focus on climate change and how that might impact the different organisms, if there were food web type things too, if there are other sources of prey, would that impact population size? And then are there any limitations to doing this virtual lab? Is this going to be exactly what would happen in real life, or might you see some different results? I hope this was a helpful overview. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Hope you have a great afternoon and good luck with your virtual lab. Bye.